Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for your continued support of the renovation and restoration of the former home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, also known as Sajdah House, located at 4847 South Woodlawn Avenue in Chicago, Illinois. As emerging markets are developed and history is being made, not everyone understands the importance of personal involvement like many of you do. Projects like this are often shadow boycotted, mocked, and ignored. But change doesn't just happen. As Muslims, we don't believe in a spook God. We don't stand around and wait for someone to do for us what we can do for ourselves. We understand that freedom ain't free, and historic preservation projects like this require that the right-minded people get involved. It's easy to complain about our forgotten history, but if we don't preserve our history, who will? The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is quoted as saying, "Don't withhold your good just because another withholds his good. You do your part." Our event last Friday was successful. We had a lot of wonderful attendees, wonderful participation. Thank you and shout out to the congressmen and mayors who supported and were a part of the event. Thank you to our gracious hosts and sponsors. But we didn't meet our financial goal. I have less than 20% of the renovation work to complete, and I still need your help. It's not too late to become a part of history. It's not too late to do your part, and it's not too late to do more. You can financially support this effort by making a donation and or purchasing a commemorative Elijah coin. To purchase a commemorative Elijah coin, just visit sajdahhouse.com. That's SAJDAHHOUSE.com. To make a donation, visit sajdahhousedonations.com. That's SAJDAHHOUSEDONATIONS.com. In addition, I humbly ask that you spread the word to other like-minded, pioneering people who understand the importance of this type of work and desire to be a part of this sacred effort. We don't need everybody to support. We just need those who understand the importance of doing their part. Follow the project on Instagram at Sajdah House. I may be shadow banned, so be sure to like the page and turn on your notifications so that you're alerted when posts are made. And so that we can stay in touch outside of social media, just join my mailing list by texting Do For Self. That's DO, the number 4, SELF to 855-574-9099. Thank you for your continued prayers and blessings. I love all the beautiful compliments and comments that you guys are sending to me, and I ask for your continued blessing. This ain't easy work, but we're going to get it done. I'm grateful beyond words. May Allah continue to bless you. I personally wish you more goodness than you have ever received or imagined. Peace and blessings, everyone. How's everyone doing this morning? Assalamu alaikum. I see y'all in the chat over here just popping on this early, beautiful summer Saturday morning. So welcome to the Sajdah Saturday morning coffee talks. Did y'all know that y'all can check out past episodes of the Mind of an Entrepreneur show on Spotify? So if you have Spotify, like in your car or however you listen to music, you can check it out. It's actually kind of cool. I had a great time myself, just kind of flipping through some of the old shows. These are the old radio show broadcasts. So some of these go way back. I even put a few up there that are from our original shows, and I'll continue to try to rotate those. So let me know when you guys move through all of those. So make sure you get it. So a couple of things to share with you all this morning. We're going to talk about discipline and steadfastness. But before I do that, I wanted to mention Spotify. I wanted to mention that let your people know many of you in the chat already have yours, that you're going to need that commemorative Elijah coin registration number to get that highest level of membership in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad house. You're going to need that. So make absolute certain that you and your family and friends go out there and get your commemorative Elijah coin. You're going to need that number off the back of there. Okay. So I just wanted to make sure you guys remember that. Okay. That's that. One other thing. How many of you all are in the manifestation class on Thursdays? I know there's a bunch of us on the chat and that are listening that are on the class. So guess what? We got something new we're about to embark upon. So this Thursday, we're going to wrap up the Master Key System book. So if you haven't been studying, get to studying. You got between now and Thursday to get caught up and to study through the last 3 or 4 chapters that we're on. We're going to wrap that up with a Q&A session. So we'll ask and talk about anything you guys want to talk about. So bring your questions to class. Be ready to drop them in the chat. I'll do a post on IG and Facebook just to remind you guys to get your questions together and get caught up. And then we're going to announce what the next endeavor is going to be on our road to becoming powerful manifestors, because that's all it is, right? It's all about learning how to say be and it is. It's really just that simple. Learning how to go out there and go, you know what? I think I want to make that happen. And then figuring out, what do I need to do in here to make that happen? Because if you're pushing beyond your comfort zone, then the goals and the dreams and the ideas that you have should be bigger than the money in your pockets, should be bigger than any experience you've ever imagined or any experience you've ever had. That's why I always tell people, I wish you more love and goodness than you've ever experienced or imagined, because you should be willing to go beyond that. And so that's the idea here. Okay, yeah, I see, Brother Lamont. I'm gonna bust you out. You got to catch up. Feel bad. Get yourself caught up and finish the Master Key System. You should begin to see some changes in your life, in the way that you're thinking, in the way that you're starting to manifest through going through that book series. Okay, so let's wrap it up on Thursday, because we're going to announce the next big thing we're going to be studying, and it's huge. This is going to push y'all over the top. And for those of you who don't think it's going to push you over the top, it really, really is going to push you over the top. So make sure you're studying. I see y'all in the chat. Yep, everybody busting on Brother Lamont. He said he didn't finish. So welcome, One Tax Vision Solutions. Welcome, Sister Aletha. Welcome, Roxanne, Sister Roxanne. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome, everyone. Okay, so let's talk today a little bit about discipline and steadfastness. I'm gonna play you a little clip. Let's play a quick clip real quick just to get you in that mindset. Check this out.
I don't care how good you are in anything. You don't have discipline, you ain't nobody.
Right.
You're nothing without discipline, because you give up under the slightest struggle without discipline. I don't care how good you are in anything. You don't have discipline, you ain't nobody.
Right.
You're nothing without discipline, because you give up under the slightest struggle without discipline.
How deep is that? Because a lot of us don't even comprehend that. The slightest struggle without discipline, you give up. Discipline has been one of the keys to my success and one of the keys to my ability to manifest. Discipline and consistency. And I don't know if it's the chicken or the egg, but the discipline and the consistency, there are certain things that I've believed in consistently throughout my life that Allah, the universe, however y'all see it, God has rewarded me for. things that I've been steadfast about, and that belief system, that discipline that connects to my steadfastness as it relates to myself has kept me from the imprisonment of dogma. You can't really get me with dogma. I'm all about really trying to figure out who I am and what I am, and using my spiritual beliefs as the basis or the foundation that I springboard from. So I say that because I had somebody say to me, they say, "You still doing the mind of an entrepreneur thing?" It was somebody I ran into here in Chicago who I knew back in the day when I started it. I started this whole podcast thing in 2009 from my bedroom in my condo at that time in Chicago. And what's interesting about that is that this person said, "Wow, you still doing that?" I guess they didn't think that I was going to still be doing it after all this time. And I said, and then they asked me a question that I thought was really interesting, because they had a conversation with me. We talked about steadfastness and discipline. And they talked about how they've kind of jumped around over the years, just trying to find themselves and find some place where they're going to land. And I said, "You know what?" I said, "To be honest with you, completely honest with you, I started the podcast and back in 2009, that started off on Blog Talk Radio. Then it went to, there was another platform I was on after Blog Talk. And then from Blog Talk, it went to the radio show with Radio One, syndicated radio. And then now we're getting ready to launch some other things that I'm not announcing right now. And so right now, YouTube, Instagram, that kind of thing. And the listenership has gone up and down. There are some shows that people really like. There are other shows that they don't. Most of my followers and listeners come from people who go afterwards and binge. A lot of the things I talk about probably caused me to be shadow banned. So I think there was one point when I was doing a lot of international radio where I was up to about 50,000 followers or more. And I was getting quite a few listeners, up into the 5 figures of listeners often. And then my account got hacked. And then after that, the shadow banning kept me at a certain level. But so we were just talking about that. And the person asked me, "So why wouldn't you just stop doing it?" And I said, "Let me just be honest with you completely. When somewhere around the early 2000s, really before that, a lot started to download into me. I started to tap into a level of creativity that allowed me to be open to spiritual downloads, is what I call it. It's not anything special about me. We can all do this within our talents and skill. That's why it's important for you to have discipline, because you'll tap into a download that'll take you to another level. It's like if you're a singer, be disciplined with your singing. If you're dancing, if you're a painter, if you're athletic, if you're a carpenter, whatever it is, be disciplined, because at a certain point, you're going to tap into what I call that space where God downloads into you. And in my case, it started to happen. It happened early, probably most of my life. It was happening, but I wasn't really aware of it. And then it started, my awareness raised probably like in the 90s. But around the early 2000s, I started to try or have the need to capture So where I went from being downloaded to writing, so I have so much writing. I have so many notebooks filled with information and knowledge that I didn't make up. I didn't read in a book somewhere, that came to me, that I started to record. And then I started to feel the need to say it to the public. That became very um, urgent in my spirit. And so that's why I started the blog talk. That's why I started the podcast, was because I would get filled with these different messages that I needed to get out. And I guess probably if I went to church, I might be like on the deacon board or something, and maybe I'd be able to say it there. But I didn't have that platform. And so I started to create my own platform. Again, it's like being an artist, finding a way to express and having your paintings all over the house. And then at a certain point, people start going, wow, I want to be a part of that. I want to collect your paintings. I want one of those in my house. And so, um, I realized in talking to this person that they was kind of playing me to the left a little bit. It was like a little shade. Like, why are you still doing that? And I said, you know what? I said, that's because my sharing, my pouring into people is part of who I am. It's a gift to me from Allah, and it's a gift to me that you all allow me to pour into you. And I get filled with these things, these concepts, or something comes to me. It could be something as simple as somebody walking up to me and handing me a piece of paper with some words on it. When I look down at those words, it's like then they start to explode and multiply. And I go, oh, I got to talk about this. And so, and I'll tell you guys more about it. But that's how our next series on on manifestation was actually born. Somebody actually sent me something, but what they sent me was in alignment with probably the last 2 or 3 years of deep study, in alignment with a lifelong interest. And then most recently, like in those last couple of days, I have been talking to people and pioneers who are well into their octogenarian and beyond years about this subject. And I started to really bubble with it, and I was trying to figure out what to do with it. And somebody sent me an email, and I said, ooh, this is our next manifestation series. So I was like, it's burning in me. I got to get it out. So y'all got to wrap up. So that's why I'm putting this pressure on y'all to finish the master key system. And it's about consistency. There's so many things that you all are out here saying that you want. Um, so many people that are jealous of somebody else. So many people that are obsessed with somebody else. So many people that want what other people have, who are constantly mulling over what you are in a particular area. And what I will say to you is that you have to keep going. You saw in that clip where Mike Tyson said you give up at the slightest hiccup. That's what happens to a lot of people. They're not really willing to go through what they have to go through in order to have the things that they feel like their soul wants them to have. What do I mean by that? You got to go through people thinking you're crazy. Like this friend of mine who really talked to me like, that show is whack. That podcast is whack. That stuff is whack. Why are you still doing this? You got to be willing to go through that, because I don't really care what that person thinks. I'm not doing this for what they think. I'm doing this because it's something that's on my heart that I feel like Allah wants me to express. And whether you all look at it 20 years from now, 20 days from now, 200 years from now, however, at a certain point, it's going to mean something to somebody. Because I believe that when Allah constantly puts a burning desire in your heart to do something, that means something. It's something significant. And you got to be willing to go through what you need to go through in order to have it. And I'm that kind of person where I've done it and I've gone through a ton of stuff, and I'm willing to go through more. I've gone through more than what I probably thought I would. And so people will have something to say. And so you got to let yourself off the hook a little bit. What do I mean by that? If it means that you got to let go of what they think or what they want from you, let go of your shame, of your rewards. That's another thing. And I had to go through that. Allah started to reward me. Well, Allah's been rewarding us, all of us, and He's been rewarding me all of my life. But the rewards started to multiply, and people started to see them and notice them. And I was in a position where I started to feel ashamed of those rewards. That's that hypocrisy we talk about when it comes to money and abundance and blessings and gifts, being ashamed of it. And I can't say that I was consciously ashamed of it, but what I can say is that I definitely was low-key ashamed. What do I mean by that? I knew I was low-key ashamed when I would hide certain blessings that I got from people. I didn't want to drive a certain car. I didn't really want people to come to my house. I didn't want people to come see my businesses. I didn't let people know what I was doing. And then after a while, it would become so obvious that even if I didn't say anything, I could be getting my hair done and somebody would say, I see it. But I realized how much of my, I could say it's humility. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I could say it's shame. Maybe it is or it isn't. I could say it's pressure to make people feel like, maybe pressure to have friends. Maybe it's pressure to make people like you or like me. Maybe it's pressure so people don't feel bad about themselves because maybe they're not at the level they want to be at, and I don't really want to show them certain things. But how much of that is holding me back from moving to that next level? How much of that is holding me back from being where God really wants me to be? And so I had to really have those tough conversations with myself. And I've gotten to the point where I've said, you know what? There's a lot that you've earned. There's a lot that you've been through your discipline, through your steadfastness, through your focus. There's a lot. But then there's a lot that Allah just gave you that ain't got nothing to do, that you couldn't work hard enough to deserve the blessings for, like the breath that I'm using as I'm talking to you. I couldn't work hard enough to thank Allah for this breath. I couldn't be disciplined enough to thank Him for my life. And so then I said, you know what? I'm not going to be ashamed anymore. I'm not hiding. I keep my circle tight. Everybody ain't in my business. Everybody don't know my moves. But it's all right. It's okay. And I'm okay if you're not okay with me. And that's where I want to get you all to, so you don't have to waste the time and waste the years that I wasted kind of hoping that folks will catch up, kind of hoping that they'll be okay. It's like you got a big piece of diamond and you're hiding the diamond because not only because you think people might steal it, but because you don't want nobody to know that you got blessed with this big diamond. Time out for that. Time out for that. It's time for us to live our lives. It's our turn. We have suffered and struggled long enough. We come from a long line of ancestors and women and men, and most of us don't have to go back that far. Look at the struggles of your mother. Look at the struggles of your grandmother. Look at the struggles of your great grandmother if you're blessed to know those people. Look at the struggles of your father. Look at the struggles of your grandfather. Look at the struggles of your great grandfather if you're blessed to know him. Look at the struggles of your brothers and sisters. We have earned it. It's our turn. There's so much coaching out there that's telling us, I think some of this, yeah, some people do stunt too much. And some people do too much. I was reading something where they was talking about the number of Mercedes Benzes that we buy because it's a status symbol. But you know what? At the end of the day, if that Mercedes makes you want to get up and do more, if that Mercedes makes you want to get up and give more, if that Mercedes makes you want to get up and be more, then go get the Mercedes if you can afford it. Don't let nobody tell you, well, don't get this or don't do that and don't stunt on folks. And it ain't about stunting. And my father said this to me when I first graduated from college. He said, don't ever be ashamed to do something for yourself. And I didn't really understand that. I thought he meant when you get a bonus, get your teeth fixed. When you get a bonus, get your hair done, get you a car. But it was deeper than that. It was much deeper than that. Don't be ashamed to do something for yourself. That is why the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's words and instructions to us to get up and do for self are really so powerful. Most of us reduce it to just business or just opening up a new store or something like that. But it's deeper, way deeper than that. Stop asking, he said, the white man to do for you what you can do for yourself. That is deep. Because we look to now, I don't even know that we actually see a white man in our head, but I think we see the media, whatever they tell us to do, whatever the news tells us to do, whatever the they is in our mind. We're always looking to transfer that master-slave relationship into just about anything we go through. We go to church and we just sit there and we wait. We sit there like little birdies with our mouth open, waiting for somebody to drop a worm in there, drop something in there where somebody can help us. We rely on them for our self-esteem, for our love of self. We don't even think we're pretty unless they say it. We don't think we've made it until we get an award from them. We don't think that our struggle means anything unless they tell us that it means something, unless they validate, whoever that they is in your head. The they could be the leadership at your company. The they could be the leadership in your church, your family, your mosque, the dogma that you submit to. But what about you? What about you doing something for yourself? What about you being disciplined enough to love yourself enough so that if they don't love you, because some people only love you if you're perfect in their eyes. See, a lot of people don't have this evolutionary view of love. They look at love like, as long as you do what I tell you to do, I love you. As long as you do what I want you to do, I love you. As long as you praise me, I love you. As long as you make me look good, I love you. As long as you fit into this box, I love you. You get out of that box, I don't love you. You stop making me feel good, I don't love you. You stop stimulating me, I don't love you. You stop praising me, I don't love you. See, that's dogma. But what about solving the puzzle of doing for self outside of what those people think? Because maybe you don't have a look that's in. Maybe right now, light-skinned and thin is in. And you ain't light-skinned and thin. So what are you going to do? Walk away and say, okay, I must be ugly because I don't fit into what they think is okay? What if dark skin and fat is in? and you ain't dark skinned and fat? What if white skin and blonde hair and blue eyes is in, and you don't have white skin, blonde hair, and blue eyes? You're gonna not value yourself? You're gonna go somewhere and lay off into a corner? Think about those things. What do we submit to? And how has this brainwashing impacted our ability not only to manifest, but to do something for ourselves? Why do they have to control how we feel about ourselves? And so every product that's put out there, the propaganda and the marketing style is to make you feel bad about whatever the problem is. And in some cases, even make you think it's a problem when it ain't a problem. Make you feel bad about what the problem is, and feel good about whatever it is that they're selling you. Whatever they offer you is the answer to your problems. You're going to be all that at this point. What about letting go of all of that? What about letting go and stop being ashamed of your blessings? How do you stop being ashamed of your blessings? You got to count them and be grateful for them. So every night before you go to bed, write them down. I like to write them down, or lay there and think about the top 10 things that you're grateful for that day. Count your blessings and be grateful for them. Don't hide them. Be a testimony, because what's missing out here is everybody's going off into their own corner with their own levels of spirituality, but nobody's bearing witness to what God has done for them. Nobody's bearing witness of how Allah has changed their life. Nobody's bearing witness to how much they've changed as a result of having access to certain levels of discipline. Nobody bears witness to that. So that's why this person could say to me, why would you still do this podcast? I do it because I'm bearing witness to what Allah blesses me with. When He downloads into me and says, go do this, go say this, make this look like this, here's this project, and this is how I want you to conduct yourself. Here's the timing, here's the rhythm of the project. Here's how I want you to move forward. When He does that for me, I go out and I go bear witness. And I said, there's no God but Allah. So therefore, what does that say to the universe, to God, to Allah? If I download into that person's going to make me known. That person is going to bear witness. That person is going to be grateful. And so I can give more. I can download more. I can give that person more and more. They're not going to walk around like, oh, I'm so smart and I'm carrying my books like this. And this is the reason why I have what I have, because I'm all that. They're not going to do that. I remember, and I won't tell the specifics, but I remember last year having a meeting with an institution regarding the renovation and restoration of the home of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we were having this conversation, and I said, they all talked about how much they liked me. And they were talking about, oh, you look so nice and you look so pretty, and I really like this or that, and I like the way you presented this, and I like the way you talk about that, da, 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 da. I said, okay, you like me enough. And even if you have an issue with the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who right now I'm representing to you as I'm presenting to you this information regarding this sacred renovation and restoration, let me get past you. Let me get past you. If you got a problem with me, because one of the persons said that I think you're far too talented and too pretty to be representing a person like this. And I laughed. I said, okay, you don't agree. You don't agree with me. You don't have to. But let me get past you. And if I fall on my face, you can say, I told you so. You can say, I told you so. If I fall on my face, if I mess up, if my life is ruined as a result of representing this man and his teachings, and you feel like I'm way too talented, blah, 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 all this stuff, I disagree with you. Much of what I have and where I am and where I am, everything is because of him. But okay, I disagree with you. But let me get past you. You like me well enough. Prove your point. Let me get past you. If you believe that I'm messing myself up by representing this man, then let me get past you. Let me get past you. I remember hearing my mother say this when she had an interview one time. But I told them, I said, let me get past you. And what you can say is, I told you so. Y'all can all come to me. You can go to the media. You can bust me out. You can do whatever you want to do. You can shame face me. You can throw egg on my face. You can say, I told you so. I said, let me get past you. And then I said, and this is what I'm going to do. When I get past you and when I am successful, I won't say, I told you so. I will say, all praise is due to Allah. Look at what Allah has done through me. And we made an agreement. And that particular part that I was working to get past, I got past it and was successful by Allah's grace. And I say that to the same people who are out here saying the same thing. Somebody said to me, ooh, girl, you must be crazy. What is wrong with you? Because we were talking about funding and how much money I've put and all my chips I put behind Elijah. And they're like, what? I said, okay, you don't have to agree. You don't have to feel like you would do what I've done. You don't have to agree. It's okay. But just don't stop me. Don't block me. Don't get in my way. You can go sit down over there and laugh. I give you permission. Go sit on the sidelines and laugh at me. Go sit on the sidelines and feel like, man, she out the game. Go whatever you feel like you need to say. Go laugh, go make fun, go talk smack, go do whatever. You can go do that. Just don't get in my way. Don't stop me. Let me go. Let me keep trying to do what you think is stupid. And I will say, all praise is due to Allah when it's done. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, because I'm going to be disciplined and steadfast enough to continue and to keep going. And that's the energy, that's the dedication, that's the discipline, that's the mindset that I want to pass on to all of you on the shows, on the Mode Today series on Black Muslim businesses, on our manifestation series on Thursday night, on the Sajdah Saturday morning coffee talks. You get up every morning and you move forward and you keep putting one foot in front of the other. There's always going to be haters. There's always going to be people who are going to tell your business. There's always going to be spies. There's always going to be people who are conspiring against you. There's always going to be people who don't like you. There's always going to be people who are going to leave you because they think you crazy. There's always going to be people who are going to run out of gas or run out of oxygen. They're always going to be there. But you get up every morning and you push forward as it relates to what you believe in. And don't just do it from a dogmatic standpoint. Put that belief into your soul. Infuse it into your mindset. Infuse it into your choices. Infuse it into your disciplines. Infuse it into your thoughts. Infuse it into how you dress. Infuse it into how you look. Infuse it into how you do what it is that you do. Infuse it into your life. That's what I do. That's what I do. So I'm walking with this energy of my belief infused into everything that I do. And I can't stress to you enough. People are going to leave. People are going to fall off and come back. People are going to just look at you from the sideline and call you just to keep score. Let me see. Let me see if he's still alive. Let me see if she's still doing that crazy stuff. Let me see what she's doing. Some people are just going to call you to talk about their haters. Some people are going to call you just to be negative and do whatever. But what I'm telling you is you get up and you put one foot in front of the other and you keep going. You keep pushing. You keep going no matter what. You keep infusing that into your life. And I am certain that God will not forsake you. He has never forsaken you, and he will never forsake you. He will always be there. This is somebody's word today. Somebody out there who's ready to give up, somebody who's tired of the haters, somebody who's sick of folks, sick and tired of being sick and tired of people. What I'm saying to you, don't worry about them. Give them permission to hate on you. I give my haters, I give y'all permission to hate on me. And if I fail at what I am doing, you got every right. I'm going to give you permission to hate on you, because you're not going to hold that stick over my head. I'm not going to sit here worried about whether or not you hating on me. You have every permission to do that. You have every right to do that. I give you permission to say, I told you so. I give you permission to do whatever it is you feel like you need to do in response. But what I will tell you is that Allah will be with me, because I'm going to stick with him. I'm going to put my hand in his hand. I'm going to lay my head on his bosom, and I'm going to stay right there. And when I'm flying, he's going to fly with me. When I'm walking, he's going to walk with me, because I'm not letting go of his hand. And I'm saying to you, don't let go of his hand. Do not let go. Don't stop. I don't care who got something to say. In fact about it, don't even delay your projects, your life, and what you want to do. Don't delay your desires 1 second longer. Don't make a God out of the people who got a problem with what it is that you do. Get past them. Let them do what they do. Let them stand on the sideline. Allow yourself to walk through a tunnel of them laughing. Hear their laughter, but you keep going, because Allah got you. He got you. So, all right, that was somebody's word today. I just felt like I needed to say that. Let's continue to be disciplined. Let's focus. I want to play this clip, and I play this a lot at the beginning of class on Thursday, but it's such a motivational clip of the minister, so that we don't give up. Because, this whole psychology around money, let me talk about that real quick. This whole psychology around money, where people are jealous of you if you have money. People will call you evil and say you're in the Illuminati. I remember when my business partner and I finally got the surgical business off the ground and got it to start flowing. And we bought a few trinkets, and people started saying that we were in the Illuminati or whatever that is. And I started laughing. I said, they have no idea. They have no idea. And so there's that. There's people who give you the psychology that you can't have more money than them. And so they don't want to help you or be a part because you're already ahead of them. There's all this drama and psychology around money that I don't want you to let get to you either. Because at the end of the day, y'all know what I'm going to say. Money gives you choices. Choices on how you eat, sleep, drink, on choices on where you eat, sleep, and drink, choices on what you eat, sleep, and drink. It gives you choices for food, clothing, and shelter. So don't ever let nobody shame you into the fact that you got money, you got nice things, you got blessed, money is coming to you, flowing to you. Don't let nobody shame you into not having money and allowing money to flow through you. What do I mean by that? People shame other people because they're like, girl, money hard to come by. Don't give her no money. Don't buy no coin. Don't get that. Shoot, she say she the multi-million-dollar business developer. She don't need no coin. This ain't about me. This is about you withholding your good because somebody else appears to be withholding their good. And what the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said to us, you don't do that. You do your part. See, because your business is not based on what I do. Your business is based on what you do. Somebody said money gives you, oh, yeah. Absolutely. So people will shame you into boycotting. I call that shadow boycotting, where they support you, but they don't really. They like you, but they don't really. They got your back, but they don't really. What's the don't really? See, because when you really support somebody, you show it, right? You show it with material things. You show it with donations. You show it with helping. You show it with support. You show it with prayers. You show it with love. You show it with letters. You show it with announcements, with conversations, with spreading the word, with telling other people. That's how you show how you feel. You demonstrate, you give. See, when you really love somebody, you give. You give them support, you give them money, you give them spirituality. When you love a thing, you give. So what happens is this dogma that's out here creates hypocrites out of us, because out of our mouth we say, I love this, I love you. But we don't give anything. We don't give our time. We don't give our word. We don't give our prayers. We don't give our support. We don't give our money, but out of our mouth we say, I love you, or I love this. We do this even in relationships. Why? Because we're waiting on that person that we worship, that thing that dictates and controls our life, to tell us what we can love. And I'm telling y'all that this is a trap, that if you don't get up out of it in a few short days, and I don't usually give these kinds of warnings, but in a few short days, you're going to find yourself in trouble. And you're going to be looking for somebody to give to, looking for something to love, looking for something to be a part of that's safer than what you gave over the power of your life to. You got to get up and let Allah use you. Let God use you. God got stuff he want to do, and he need people to do it through. So let him use you. So anyway, back to this. I was going to play this real quick, and then we're going to come back and close out.
Muslims, you shouldn't be around here looking to white people to give you a job. Go look in Message to the Black Man and the Economic Blueprint. And if there are 4 of you, 6 of you, 8 of you together, pool your resources, go into business and set up business all over the south and west side of Chicago. But if you poor and we poor, hell man, we can't be around here poor. I want to see rich Muslims. And if you obey Allah, there's no reason why you can't make a business successful. You just have to get up and stop being lazy and trifling and go do something for yourself.
I don't even know what to say. Let me go to the chat in these last few minutes, because he just nailed it. I don't even know what to say. Okay, let me just say what y'all saying. Money gives you options. Tell me what y'all thought about that clip. I don't even know what to say. Sister Aletha said the money psychology is real in impacting our lives. That's right. It's so interesting, because once you start studying this, I can literally see a person's money psychology by the way they talk. It's so easy. But the beautiful thing And I'll tell you something. I'll tell you a pact that I made with Allah many, many years ago. And this is, I'll just say this. This is there was somebody said to me, you expose your heart. I didn't really know what that meant, but let me just say this. Growing up, I was really close to my grandmother, and I tried to do everything just like her. And one of the reasons why I'm a coffee and tea drinker, y'all like my cup from the Silver Room? If you like this cup, go down to the Silver Room and get you one, or go online. They sell them. That's real talk. Chicago's one of those cities that grabs a hold of you and don't let you go. Anyway, I grew up close to, I was just trying to see what time it was, close to my grandmother. And she was an avid coffee drinker. And my father got me into teas because he would bring me different flavors of teas home from work. And in like the tea boxes with all the different bags in it. And I started to kind of tinker between coffee and tea. My grandmother was big on reading the hymnals, because we were Catholic, every morning. And so she would sit there in her chair and read the hymnals. It's a small little hymnal book. And I learned how to read off of them hymnals. I would study, but just look at Allah. I would study Jesus with her, ask questions, talk to her about church, and we would just read, and I would listen. She got on the phone. I was the little buck-eyed, nosy girl listening to what she had to say. My grandmother had a gift of insight, foresight. I guess they would call it psychic, where literally I would watch her read into something that I knew she really didn't know that much about. But I always cringed because, and I pray she forgives me for saying this, but I thought she was mean with it. So if she saw you and you came in and she saw something about you, whether it was a friend or somebody, she would interpret her reading, in my opinion, in a way that it was real and accurate, but the word choices I felt were mean and hurtful. And so probably one of my first days in the mosque in Indianapolis, I was sitting in the audience, and I remember Brother Yusuf Muhammad, may Allah be pleased with him, was teaching. And as I sat there and I started to look around at the people around me, I started to realize that I started to get messages about them where I could kind of see things and read things. And it became very clear to me in that moment, in that audience, that this is what was happening to my grandmother, where she would get these messages about people. And so I said a prayer and I made a deal with Master Father Muhammad. And I said, sir, if you, I've never told anybody this story. I can't believe I'm telling y'all. If you and your messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and your greatest student would use me and enhance this ability in me and allow me to be a conduit for you, I will be it your will, elevate and embrace the gift that you gave to my grandmother by not being mean with the words that come out of my mouth. And if I see things or notice things or know things, I will accept it as your desire for me to help people, allow you to connect better with them. Does that make sense? That was the pact that I sat there and made. So there's a picture of me sitting in the audience listening to a lecture in that very same mosque. And I don't know if this is the same, I don't think it's the same lecture where I kind of made that pact in my mind. But I cherish that picture because it was there in that moment that I made that pact with Allah. If you allow me to see, I will do everything I can to do your will and to be your conduit. And so that was the pact that, you know, people make different. I say I call it a pact, but that was my way of thinking of it. That I just said, okay, Allah, deal. I feel like he said, okay, deal. I had no idea where those things would take me and where I would go from there. But I just wanted to share that with you all. And I want to share that ability to be as intimate with your God as you possibly can in terms of your choices, the way you move, your lifestyle, every single thing. All right, y'all. So don't forget, Thursday, y'all got to binge because it's going to be our last class on the Master Key System. I want to do some Q&A. So bring your questions, things you want to clarify, things you want to talk about. We're going to get through this last section. And I got something big for y'all that we're going to be starting. And I'll put the timeline together, but this is going to be huge. This is going to be life-changing to everyone. So tell all your friends, tell everybody, go and binge on the past episodes. The show, the radio show, some of those past episodes are on Spotify. I think you just type in Mind of an Entrepreneur or Sajdah Wendy Muhammad and you'll see it. It'll pop up. Some of them are the 30-minute shows back when the radio station gave me a 30-minute slot. Some of them are 1-hour shows after they moved me to a 1-hour slot. And then the ones that we've been doing that are here either on Instagram or on YouTube are on the Sajdah Wendy Muhammad YouTube channel where you can go back and binge. Make sure you subscribe to the page. Make sure you turn on your notifications because I could be shadow banned. And shadow banning is really all about advertisers, right? It's about whether or not they think that you're advertisement worthy. And sometimes, you know, I post things that maybe they feel like, oh, wait a minute, you know, our advertisers may not like that, but that's okay. Because at the end of the day, this is all about truth. This is all about love. This is all about helping us to become what? Happier, healthier, wealthier, and experience more love. So, all right, y'all go out. Oh, this is my brother. Y'all go out. Look, we got to have a big room in the house that's sponsored by my brother. I had to put his picture up there. That's his real estate picture. He got his emojis going right there. So anyway, all right, y'all. So make sure you have a great Saturday. I'm about to get a masterful workout in here. Make sure y'all do that. We got to keep our health together. So I'm going to do something kind of tough today, but it's fun just to get your body moving and get your mind going in another way, get the juices flowing. Make sure you move something every single day. Sister Roxanne said, thank you. May Allah continue to bless you. Aletha laughing at you, Kevin. Sister Shara said, I appreciate you sharing that with us. Thank you, ma'am. Sometimes when, you know what, it's the thing when, if you're a creative person, if you don't share something that makes you cringe a little bit, then you're not really pushing yourself to the limit. So when you paint something, it kind of got to embarrass you. When you write a song, it kind of got to embarrass you a little bit. But that's okay. Praise be to Allah. All right. So with that, Sister Marvelous Marva said that was a clear instruction. That was after that video of the minister. All right. Praise be to Allah. All right. I will see you all Thursday, but first Wednesday on the Mode Today series on Black Muslim businesses. Make sure that you all are doing what? Supporting the renovation and restoration of the former home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Make sure you go out there, get your commemorative Elijah coin. You're going to need that registration number on the back to access certain levels of membership that I'm not even going to reveal to y'all right now. So, all right, peace and blessings, family. And I will see you all next week. Make sure you catch up. And please, please, please get your coin. If you only got a couple dollars, go to Sajdah House donations. But we need everything. We pushing forward. And if you are part of the Wailing Wall prayer team, get on your prayer rug, go to your cross, get your Buddha statue out, whatever it is that you do, and pray for the success of the renovation and restoration of the former home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I don't care what religion you are, call on Jehovah, whatever you got to do, but pray for us because urban historic preservation matters. And this man deserves to have his name lifted in a way that you all probably have never seen him lifted before. And that is through his house. You've never been in his house, never seen the place-based educational opportunities that we're going to offer to you. You've never experienced his energy inside of his home in the way that we're going to express it. So whatever you do, get out there and support us. Peace and blessings.
This is Sister Sajdah Muhammad. We are proud to announce that the Sajdah House commemorative Elijah coins are finally here. As we renovate and restore the former home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we have recycled the old copper gutters and downspouts and created a 1-ounce 39mm coin made of 100% pure copper. Each coin is professionally graded and has its own barcode and registration number. This priceless heirloom, made from recycled copper from the messenger's home, is now available at sajdahhouse.com.